Alrighty, and welcome to part two. Anytime I get a phone call during one of these videos, it cuts off my audio, so I have to restart the video or make another video so you guys can hear my audio. So bear with me as I get phone calls. Typically, I can usually get away with this meeting with less than 3 to 4 interruptions, so bear with me on that. But we were just talking about your drop zone option there. Again, you guys didn't select it, but it's easy to have somebody come in and fabricate something for a nice drop zone right there. I'm sure you guys have the background necessary to complete that. So. All right, so right now I'm standing here in the kitchen. You guys obviously have a ton of options that go here into the kitchen. Right here on the right side, this is gonna be that pantry area. You got some stuff going on here. So the first thing we talked about, that junction box for this pest defense system. You see all these green tubes that route themselves right out here, and then it exits the house right there, and then it connects to this blue line. These blue lines are also part of the TAX system. Typically, you're gonna see those in vertical runs. Essentially, the only difference between the green and blue tubes is these are perforated and these guys are non-perforated. There's no reason for us to expel any of that dry nitrogen chemical on the vertical walls. Again, our main area of focus is just gonna be down here, essentially towards the bottom plate of the home. So. All right, next thing we can talk about here, you got another water line for the refrigerator. Again, you guys did select the optional refrigerator, so good checkpoint. Make sure we got the water line there for you. Then, of course, you got all these outlets that are there. Those are just standard outlets that'll be located in your backsplash, and then over to the sink there. And then, of course, you guys did select that direct vent feature for your cabinet hood, or the cabinet that'll sit just above the microwave. Another option that you guys selected was the recess cans here in the kitchen. You guys have 6 of those, so 3 on that back wall, and then 3 more just behind that. And then going back just a little bit more, you guys have the pendant light option that's gonna sit right over the island that gets located here. So a couple more outlets over here on this wall for the backsplash again. That's a quick breakdown of the kitchen. Couple more options you guys have going on in the kitchen. So another thing we discussed at that build quality introduction is I always like to go through my house and pre-label stuff just to kind of keep, again, the trades, in sync with what's going on and what's going into each room. So here in the kitchen, you guys have the backsplash. You've got hardware, cabinet hardware going in. You've got the direct vent feature. You guys selected the upgraded faucet. The pendant lights, stainless steel electric appliances, and then the recessed can option. So this is pretty much what I use to kind of go through my, my options and check off essentially what's been installed, just to make sure I've got all the parts and pieces that I need in as we get into sheetrock, and I'm not having to go locate stuff or tear sheetrock to install something. I'm able to kind of check those boxes as construction continues through rough in. So we are definitely looking good. So right now I'm looking over here into the sunroom. One of the options you guys have here in your sunroom area, you guys selected the recessed can option. So you've got 4 recessed cans here in the sunroom. Definitely a good idea. As you guys can see, there's gonna be a ton of natural light coming into that sunroom, plenty of window space there. And of course, nighttime hits, it's always good to have some good artificial lighting in there. So I think you guys did a good job on that. And then of course you got the center mount right there. And as you can see, that TAX system still runs all along these exterior walls here. You're gonna see that TAX system essentially run on every exterior wall on this first floor in your house. So. All right, so while we're here in the sunroom, something I wanna talk about is your windows. So these are energy efficient windows. One of the questions I always get, are they hurricane rated? These are not hurricane rated windows. They are dual paned, energy efficient windows. What makes them energy efficient is these windows actually have what they call a solar heat gain coefficient. That's just a really fancy term for the amount of sunlight that comes into the house. It's just reduced. There's a film that's in these windows that actually reduces that amount of heat energy that actually enters the house. And that's essentially what makes it energy efficient. We're gonna go through all the operation of your windows when we do the pre-close and orientation. Hopefully you guys are gonna be able to make it out here for that, and we're well past all this COVID nonsense. But back to kind of the rough install of the windows. So a few of the checks that I always like to go through on the windows is just to make sure that all 4 sides, there's no daylight. So essentially what we do for our installs, we use low expansion foam around the left, right, and top side. And then right here down at the bottom sill, one of the checks I'm looking for is to make sure that they use the caulking all the way down the windowsill. And then over here on the jamb side, 46 inches of caulking right there is typically what I'm looking for, just to make sure it's nice and sealed. We've got the Typar tape down here at the bottom sill. It's just a moisture resistant tape. And then in each corner, same brand, just a different style of tape. It's a little bit more squishy to help that corner really seat into that corner. Again, that's one of the leading causes of home warranty is obviously leaks. So we go through a lot just to try to make sure that that's not going to be an issue for us. And again, every single one of your windows should be installed exactly the same way with the exact same procedures. So again, that's just something I always like to run through and check. All right, and then your doors. Pretty much the same concept here. Obviously, you see a little bit of daylight right there. That is where the weather stripping is going to be located once we get a little bit further on in construction. But this is really where, again, we're making our money. We got the low expansion foam across all 3 sides up there, no daylight. And then down at the bottom, you've got your door pan down there. Again, caulking 46 inches up the jamb on each side. Again, just trying to make sure that water is not getting in there. This is going to be one of the most important areas on your home. Obviously, you know, if you've got an uncovered porch back here, you're going to have a lot of water running down here, getting onto the door sill, and it's going to want to get inside. Obviously, the door was open. We got a little bit of rain. That's why it's got a little bit of moisture here. But when that door is shut, we want to make sure that none of that water is getting in here. So very important that these exterior doors are done that way so that we can make sure water's not getting inside your home. All right, moving on to the great room area. All right, a few of the options that you guys have going on here in the great room area. Of course, you guys selected the recessed can option up there, so you got 4 of the recessed cans. Another option you selected was the ceiling fan pre-wire. So if I look up here, easiest way to tell if it's a ceiling fan pre-wire or not, you got the red, black, and white wire up there. So you got 3 wires in there plus your ground, and that allows you to control your light and your fan individually. And it'll be on a 3-switch panel, usually, that you can see right over here. All right, and then you guys have a low voltage option in here also. You got the TV data at 5 feet, again, next to an outlet there, and it runs through that corrugated chase pipe for all of your cable management, and then it will exit right through the bottom here again, so you don't see any of those cables. Also on this wall, you guys have a water line. So this is going to be the hose bib just on the other side of this wall. This is going to be where you would hook up any sort of hose to. So you got one on the back left corner of the house, and then you got one also on the front right of your home. So you get a 100-foot hose on each side, and you can pretty much get water around your entire house. All right, we're gonna keep on moving. Let's talk about the stairs real quick. So you guys have the wood ballast option that's gonna be installed here. So we are pretty much ready for that to happen once we get into trim. One of the things we like to do here, we put an underlayment underneath the stairs. Obviously, concrete, especially within that first 2 years, is gonna be evaporated moisture out of the concrete. So we wanna make sure that any untreated wood has some sort of a barrier between it, and that's why we install this underlayment to make sure that none of that stair wood is gonna rot out. And then over to my left, you guys have your powder room. Right as we go into the hallway, you got the linen closet there, and then of course, powder room here. Each one of your bathrooms is essentially going to have the same features. You've got your exhaust fan there, temperature controlled, AC. And then of course, you got your light source there. Something I always get a lot of questions about is after sheetrock goes up, you're not going to see any sort of box, or you're not going to see that wire penetrating the sheetrock. Biggest reason, they need to know where that pedestal sink or cabinet base is going to be located. They want to be able to find center of that so they know exactly where to put that box. So once all that stuff gets installed, the electricians come in and trim out. They find that wire, penetrate it centered on your cabinet base or sink, and you've got your light source there. So if you guys ever walk the house and you happen not to see anything going on there yet, we just don't work with that until we get to the trim out portion. So, all right. All right, another cool feature here. You got this storage closet right here. It's illuminated here, and it doesn't just stop right here at this wall. It actually continues on, and then you got this little right turn here that it makes towards that great room wall. So a ton of storage space under here. You can put a ton of stuff in there. You can add some extra lighting back in there too if you want to get you some light, but you will have a light there. All right, and then we're gonna go into the flex room here. Again, you guys went with the recess can option, 4 recess cans in here. And over here on my right, you've got the TV data option, again, close to power, so you can plug your stuff in there. Outlet profile in our homes is pretty darn good too. I don't think you're gonna have to worry about how many outlets you have in each room. Pretty standard. All right, we're gonna keep moving. So that's kind of a quick grand tour of the downstairs. Hopefully I've reviewed all the structural options that you guys have on the first floor. I've also covered your electrical options that you guys selected to add to your contract. If I missed anything, feel free to let me know. Like I said, I've gone through and double checked to make sure we have everything. So if I skip something, please just let me know and we can double check that we actually have it there for you. The only thing I didn't really cover, that guy right there is gonna be where your first floor thermostat is gonna be located. All right, let's get on upstairs. Pretty much same thing that we're gonna be doing up here that we did downstairs. We're gonna start here in the loft area first. All right, so here in the loft area, one of the options that you guys selected, you've got recess cans. Again, 4 recess cans. You guys also have, it looks like a ceiling fan pre-wire there. And then of course your low voltage option TV data over here on my right. All right, and then as we walk into your master bedroom, you got another closet here. Master bedroom, you got your tray ceiling option, 4 recess cans. And of course your ceiling fan pre-wire. And last but not least, you've got your